Hello, welcome to LanguageSparks. If you're a student looking to purchase a Spark for use with your in-class course, click on the Students link in the upper right-hand corner of this page. If you're a teacher who's come to learn more about the program, you're already in the right place. To start with, you're probably wondering, what is LanguageSparks? Well, first things first. At the most basic level, LanguageSparks is a simple but powerful vocabulary acquisition and revision tool that takes the unassuming form of a flashcard program. On the question side of the card, a word in English or Arabic will appear. When the student thinks they know the answer, they can reveal the correct answer on the other side of the card. Anytime the Arabic word is shown, that is, whether as question or answer, a high-fidelity audio recording of the word plays, so students receive constant reinforcement of proper pronunciation. In fact, each Arabic word has not only one, but actually a bank of recordings associated with it, where the recordings are from a host of different Arabic teachers from all over the world, with free updates available in the future as new recordings become available. As such, whenever a given word is shown, the program randomly selects one recording from the bank so as to accustom students to different pronunciations and accents and broaden their oral recognition right from the start. By January 2012, simple grammar lessons formulated as question and answer sets will also be included. But what really distinguishes LanguageSparks from its paper predecessor and digital doppelgangers is the use of a memory algorithm for scheduling future revisions of the cards. When the answer of a question and answer set is shown, students are asked to grade how well they recalled this particular vocabulary word or grammatical concept on a scale from 0 to 5, where 0 is not at all or I've never seen this before, and 5 is I know this word perfectly. The program will then schedule the Q&A pair according to the grade given by the student. Research done on long-term recall has shown that one of the most efficient means of transferring simple bits of information from short-term to long-term memory is the use of spaced repetitions. By maximizing the interval between the repetition of Q&A sets such that the student goes as long as possible without reviewing the card, without forgetting the answer, not only do they spend less time reviewing vocabulary each day, but they also greatly enhance their ability to recall the basic meaning of a word after long periods without review, also known as the summer. For example, if today is marked by Al-Yom on the calendar, and a student were to grade this card with a 0 or 1, the card would be asked again that same day until the student gave themselves a passing grade. By contrast, a grade of 2 or 3 means that they managed to recall the word, although with some difficulty, and it would only appear again in the next few days. 4 is the ideal grade, meaning that the student was able to recollect the answer with just the right amount of effort, so the interval was about right. Finally, a grade of 5 indicates that they have no trouble recalling this word whatsoever, so the interval may be increased accordingly. In this way, students not only recall words with less difficulty, they actually save a great deal of time by only focusing on those words that cause them the most trouble in the first place. In fact, the program manages their review time so efficiently that they'll be able to actively review all the vocabulary that has been introduced over the entire course of their studies in only 5 to 10 minutes a day. Another feature that makes LanguageSparks unique is that it is designed to be used in your class. Sparks, the basic data packages that are used with the program, have been developed for the Al-Kitaab series and contain not only the active vocabulary introduced at the start of the chapter, but also the passive vocabulary that appears throughout the rest of the chapter and oftentimes represents 2 to 4 times more vocabulary items. These passive words are important for students but don't always have associated audio files or exercises in the book. By actively reviewing them with LanguageSparks, grammar, reading comprehension, and even active use become much easier. After speaking with new Arabic students, it also became apparent that the major bottleneck when they first start learning is primarily their ability to learn all the new alphabet and basic expressions by heart. With LanguageSparks managing their review time, as much as a week to 2 weeks can be cut off the standard time spent on Alif. More importantly, students will quickly learn simple expressions which help to maintain their interest and motivation, key factors in keeping them working hard towards their learning goals. Now, many teachers have developed their own resources, exercises for speaking sessions, or learning activities catered towards their students' particular interest. Many teachers don't include this vocabulary as tested material because it would be too much work to develop even more resources to help students review and activate the vocabulary over time. On their side, students often collect these resources as material to review at a later date because they're already struggling to keep up with the material in Al-Kitaab. Of course, some students manage to incorporate some of this material, and all students benefit from the exposure, but now LanguageSparks will work with teachers to add the vocabulary associated with their own documents to the Spark available for their students, thus including this material as an active and ongoing part of their class. For students, LanguageSparks not only helps them review all the vocabulary they've learned and improve their pronunciation and oral recognition, it can also be used to practice their spelling. By focusing on how to spell the word properly, students are even less likely to forget its general meaning. LanguageSparks also collects a host of user statistics available to the teacher as well as the student. Teachers can indicate what information they'd like to know about how their class is using the program, as well as how often they'd like to receive updates on this information, and this info will be forwarded directly to their inbox. The program itself offers students some basic information on their usage, how many cards are coming in the next days, and basic stats on any given card. But teachers can access detailed information such as which words are causing their students the most trouble. This allows teachers to cater their in-class time towards what students themselves identify as most challenging. It also provides teachers with a reliable means of evaluating out-of-class preparation. By January 2012, teachers will even be able to indicate dates by which students should know all the vocab from a particular chapter. LanguageSparks will then automatically start introducing 1 or 2 cards a day, weeks in advance, so that by the time the vocabulary class comes around, they will already have some initial sense of the words and can focus on activating that vocab instead of just basic recall. In the long term, this statistical information opens the door to standardized testing for vocabulary, which would ultimately allow teachers to reduce the testing time spent on vocab. And anonymous global statistics could help identify learning patterns across all ASL learning groups. Now comes the part that's really exciting. From the start, LanguageSparks has been committed to economic accessibility. First developed for students by a student, I wanted the program to be accessible to as many people as possible. However, over the course of its development, it became apparent that there is a lot more potential in the program, potential that would normally be funded by raising the cost to students. Not wanting to raise the cost or walk away from ongoing development, LanguageSparks has taken on a new fairware model that sees itself reasonably positioned between the creative, community-based world of freeware and the professional world of software, which can provide for product development and customer support. We'd like to tap into the user-generated content model commonly seen in freeware, while still ensuring that that content is produced quickly, accurately, and easily by providing professional verification, customer support, and ongoing development based on feedback from students and teachers alike. In the first application of this new model, when students purchase a Spark, they'll be asked to submit the root, pattern, idiomatic expressions, and 2 to 3 sample sentences for a single word. This information will be input via our website, at which point we'll have it professionally verified in a 2-step process. Collect recordings for the idiomatic expressions and sample sentences, and then feed the result back into the program for all students to benefit. Furthermore, because all this information is digital, the ability to group words by their root or pattern will only be a click away for students, providing them a completely new means of engaging with vocabulary that previously would have represented hundreds of hours of work, all for no extra cost. On their side, if teachers would like to make this activity a graded homework, we can provide them with PDFs of the information submitted by their students for easy correcting and grading, and can also arrange for their class to repeat the exercise with new vocabulary throughout the term. Thanks for taking the time to learn a little bit about LanguageSparks. If you have any questions or would like to arrange for a meeting with the faculty at your university, you can contact me directly at jacob@languagesparks.com or by clicking the contact link at the bottom of the page. If you'd like to make the program available to your students now, simply send them to www.languagesparks.com and have them click on the student link and then follow the instructions for purchasing a Spark. Classes can be retroactively grouped if you decide you'd like to know how your students are using the program in the future, so you can make it available to them now before deciding just how you'd like to use the features available to teachers within your own pedagogical structure. Finally, there are never any charges or contracts for teachers or institutions, and students only pay a one-time fee of $25 per Spark, where a Spark covers all the content of the associated textbook. Future recordings, features, and materials will be automatically updated as they become available at no extra charge.